Hey friends, welcome back to Mimi's Mixed Bag. And if this is your first video, this is going to be a little different this week. I am on vacation this week with my husband's family. He has lots of family in northern Wisconsin, and so that's where I'm at. I didn't want to go a week and a half without sharing something with you this week, and I thought this would be a good week for me to share with you my little furry friends. I have mentioned them before, but very little, and wanted to talk to you about my little guinea pig friends that I have. I actually bought these little critters a couple years ago for my grandchildren. It was their Christmas present. And I called myself doing lots of research before I ever purchased them. And we wanted to teach them responsibility along with, maybe having something that was a little easier to take care of. Even though I did my so-called research, we quickly realized that these were a lot of responsibility, and I was sorry I bought them. But I had invested almost $200 for their Christmas, didn't know what to do with them. So I decided to take them back to my house about a year or so ago, and they've been with me ever since. What I want to do today is just share with you some pros and cons of owning guinea pigs, if you've never known anybody to have one or know anything about them. Let me introduce you. This little black one here is Buzzy. He's the biggest of the two, and they are supposedly the same age. We bought them together at Petco, and Petco told us that they only sell male guinea pigs, so there was no chance of us having a litter of guinea pigs. I had a friend that happened to. I don't know where she got hers, but they told us they only had males. The smaller one, he's not much smaller, but this is Reuben. And he's white and tan. He's all of the different colors. And Mr. Buzzy here is mostly black. Now, they think my finger is a carrot is why they keep nibbling at my finger. They're wiggle worms, I tell you. I'll start off with the cons, some of the negative things, and then I'll end this with positive for sure. And so the first thing is these animals are considered prey animals. You have predators like lions and tigers, and then you have prey. These are very non-aggressive little animals, and they're very scared and timid. Now, if you reach down into their cage, they will run from you. You have to chase them to even pick them up. Now, over the course of a year or two, they will come to you. It's taken months and months to ever establish any kind of little bond with them. They're just scared to death. All right, the next thing is they do shed. Now, their little cage, it's not full of hair or anything. I don't see a lot of hair in their cage, but when I do hold them like this and I get ready to put them down, my shirt will be covered in hair. So that's something else to consider. The next thing is, one reason why my daughter had enough of them at her house was that the hay stinks. We feed them Timothy hay. We get a big bag at Walmart or the pet store, and then also these hay little dry pellets. And we also every day give them fresh greens and bell peppers and whatever, we have some lettuce or whatever, and it's kind of like rabbit type food. And after a while, my daughter had just had enough. And I understand. I had more room for them, so I took them. And so I'm going to take them with me when I move too. But the hay does have a smell. The animals themselves don't smell. It's the hay that you're smelling. And when we go to that side of her house, you could definitely smell hay. And along with the hay smell, these little critters poop unbelievably. There's a funny little clip on a sitcom called King of Queens where Kevin has a guinea pig as a child, and he sings this song, "Eat a pellet, make a pellet." And we laugh about that because it is so true. You can't hardly tell the difference between the hay pellets they eat and the pellets that they put out. It's hard to tell if it's poop or pellets. It's something that requires me sweeping their corners of their cage every single day, especially with two. With one, you might get away with every other day, but they are definitely a daily maintenance type animal. So we really don't give it an opportunity to smell, but we do have a little mini broom and dustpan and scoop it out. I'm serious, it's at least a couple cups a day. All right, the next thing, and some people may consider this a con, is that they only live 5 to 7 years. That's not a lot of time as far as an animal, and you get attached to them. Even though they're not very interactive, they still, you get attached to them. When you come in or they hear you coming up the stairs, they will squeak. We were a little disappointed that, they're just not as interactive as we wanted them to be. I tell people it's like having a newborn puppy. They're just sweet and cuddly. They don't respond to you like, an older dog does. All right, and the next one was it's very important to do proper bedding. That some people do use the cedar shavings, and honestly, that is a huge mess to have to change out every week. And from day one, we used the fleece bedding, and I just sewed bath towels between 2 sheets of fleece, and it kind of creates a wicking. And when they potty, it kind of draws it away. One trip camping, we took them camping in their little travel case, and I just put a bath towel down in the bottom of their cage, and their little paws get just blistered from the, I guess the ammonia in their urine. You've got to give them proper space. One guinea pig needs at least 2 square feet. So with 2 of them, our little cage is about 8 square feet. So it's a pretty big cage for 2. All right, and so now I'm going to just focus on the pros. This is what's so sweet about them is the fact that, number one, they're just incredibly cute. He reminds me of Stuart Little, the brown one, and just so cute. And we rub noses with them, but they just kind of stare at you. The next one is they're self-groomers, kind of like cats. You don't dare bathe these unless there's just some reason to. Like, I don't know why, because you wouldn't take them really outside, or if for some reason you needed to, just be very careful about bathing them, but it's really not necessary. All right, the next one is they're just unique to own. Not everyone has a guinea pig, and it's just fun to tell people you have them, and then when friends come over, you can share them with them. Who doesn't love to cuddle a puppy? And that's what I tell people it's like. When I said they only live 5 to 7 years, some people may consider that a pro. It's a very shorter commitment. It's a great way to teach children pet responsibility, but then it's a way more responsibility than we thought. Is that something to consider? And the last but not least is there's very little pet expenses. It's very hard to tell if anything's wrong with them. So they say you're supposed to weigh them regularly and then watch to make sure they're eating. We've never weighed ours like that. But that's a good telltale sign that something is wrong if they start losing weight. But ours have yet to show any signs of that. But ours love parsley and bell pepper the best. And we give them a couple little baby carrots every day. So I'm going to show you where they live and their cage setup. All right, here we are in one of my spare bedrooms is where I keep them. And I bought this cage at Christmas time, and it's called a Guinea habitat. It's for up to 2 guinea pigs, no more than that, because they do need a certain amount of space. But today was clean out day. I take everything out once a week, spray it all down with vinegar and water, and then put a fresh fleece pad down like that. I give them a hay in their little cardboard tube. They can gnaw on the cardboard tube. You can even give them a toilet paper tube to gnaw on. These are their pellets. And then I always keep a wood block in here. This helps for them to gnaw on their front teeth, because their front teeth do grow, and it kind of keeps them shortened a little bit. And I have 2 of these little snack-a-huts is what they're called, one in each corner. They like to stay covered up, kind of buried in something, and they're in their little huts all the time. But it's made out of a material where they can gnaw on it, and I have just a little pad so they can have a little cushion. This is just some little emergency hay I keep in this little bin, and then their water bottle is over here in the corner. So they just hang out here and eat and sleep all day long. So I hope you enjoyed me sharing with you my guineas, and you maybe learned a little something too. Check out Instagram. I'll post some pictures of where I'm at this week, and I'll be back next week with a cute project to share. Bye-bye.